running, I'm losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game. The algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. Reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope. Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell the day. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low, all products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Let's go to Max School. To Max School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope. They got the S&P cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe, helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you'd think we studied at Max School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden rule. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using helium-10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the sky. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the SOP so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing here at My Amazon Guy, and I am here to answer any and all of your questions. So I'm standing today. I'm not walking on my walking pad because, gotta be honest, that was very hard last week to do. But I am back. I am back in Michigan. I was at a conference earlier this week and came back just to do this lovely live Q&A with you all. And I was out in Cali, and it was very warm. It was nice, very warm and nice. And now it's very cold, and we're in the middle of a blizzard, and half the country is going to be covered in ice. So if you are somebody who's going to get covered in ice, stay warm, stay safe, and ask a question. So let's dig in. Let's get to some of these questions, and we will be here, I don't know, for probably the next hour. I didn't check my calendar before this. Yeah, probably about the next hour or so. So if you want your question answered, ask it quick, ask it fast, and we'll get through them. So without further ado, hi, I'm working with a client who is acquiring a business that currently has an Amazon Seller Central account. What's the best way to transfer full ownership of an account when it's under a different person's name? Also, does Amazon allow a single individual to operate multiple Seller Central accounts if they are linked to separate legal entities with distinct product lines and business operation? Yes, they do. So you can have multiple Seller Central accounts at this point in time. If you have multiple businesses, multiple different products, that's not an issue whatsoever. As far as transferring the account, a couple of different things. One, you can always book a coaching call with us. I do probably at least one coaching call a week that goes through like the account transfer process. But if you don't want to do that, what you actually could do as well is you can head on over. You're actually already on our YouTube channel, but if you search on our YouTube channel for transfer, you can also search up here for like My Amazon Guy transfer. We have a couple of different ones. So this is one that I've recorded that literally just goes through step by step of exactly how you transfer every single part of that actual Seller Central account, including the actual person and who owns it as well. Steven also, our founder, has recorded one in recent times as well, how to transfer it, including like death scenario in his. And so if you need any help with it, I would just watch one of those videos. They're really in-depth and kind of literally walk you through every section, what you need to click and what you need to change over. So that'll be the best thing. But if you really are struggling with it or want some extra help, head over and schedule a coaching call with one of our coaches. Myself, I think one of our coaches, John Urban, has done them. Brent Hopkins has done them as well. So you can schedule with any of us and we'd be able to help you out with it. Good first question. Let's see here. Boom. Abdullah. Hello. One of my clients, FBA, no title description. One of my clients is FBA, no title description, I think is what you mean. But same listing, FBM title, bullet point description. I optimized both title, bullet points, Amazon deactivated listing, required certificate. Can I text you on LinkedIn? Yeah, you can text me on LinkedIn. If it requires a certificate, it doesn't matter if you're FBA or FBM. Usually most certificates are due to like a specific use case, specific type of product and what that product requires. So that's more than likely what the issue is here. But yeah, if you have additional questions, feel free to let me know, or just, like I said, throw another chat in there so we can educate everyone all at once, as we say. So I just noticed in my camera, you can see this little bottle down here. Funny enough, this is a Amazon Accelerate 2025 water bottle that I've yet to do anything with. Apparently, I can scan the bottle every time I reuse it to unlock a donation and track your environmental impact. Wow, that's kind of actually interesting. Who knew? So I guess I better start using that and scanning it. All right. Hi, Noah. How do you approach listing optimization when your top ranking keyword is unrelated to the actual product use case but drives traffic? Ooh, that is always an interesting one to answer. So what you're realistically asking here is, what is considered relevancy for keywords? It's a hard topic for people to understand a lot of times, because I think a lot of times people don't actually know like that relevancy is a data-driven term. It is not a true term. So for instance, I have here a deck of cards, this deck of cards that I've been shuffling for 2 years now. So this deck of cards, if I were to advertise it, And the term that I use to advertise is cards. Cards is a very general term. Technically speaking, these are cards, but there are also, baseball cards. There are also cards that you would buy for a family member, Mother's Day cards, Father's Day cards. There's all sorts of different cards. And so the keyword cards is technically, from like a subjective view, relevant and is showing relevancy towards playing cards, right? But it is not necessarily, when we're thinking about Amazon and search terms and how people search for products, actually relevant to a deck of playing cards. And so you're in kind of the opposite situation there, right? Where you have a top ranking keyword that is unrelated, quote unquote, to your actual product use case, but it drives traffic. Here's what I would typically say. If the traffic is converting, do nothing at all. It just means that your product is inadvertently relevant for that keyword that seems like it has zero relevancy from a subjective view. But if that keyword is only driving impressions and clicks with no conversions, I would negate that keyword. There's no reason to ever have any type of keyword just because you get more impressions, you can get more clicks on it. I would always focus first and foremost on what is converting and what isn't converting. And so that is what truly will show you relevancy at the end of the day. Let's see. We have a Mr. Jeff Allen. Hello, Jeff. Good to always see you, sir. Amazon is blocking a lot of software that downloads reviews. Helium 10 removed that feature. What software can I use that is Amazon TOS? Yeah. So the reason that Amazon does this every few years when it comes to this, so it's not just that they're blocking it. What actually is happening here, Jeff, as well, is the fact that these softwares incorrectly do reviews. A lot of them incorrectly do it because what they do is they don't actually activate the request a review button on the Amazon FBA order. What they instead do is they take the customer information and they shoot out a message to the customer requesting that review through Amazon's Messenger. Amazon then will block you for too much proactive customer communication. That's the big issue, and that's why they're blocking them. So you need to find a software that tends to use the actual Amazon request a review button as that review request and not one that sends a message. I believe Merchant Spring does it. Sellerboard, I think, is another one. So Sellerboard is software. It also is for like analytics and stuff. But theirs is one that does that request a review button versus just the typical send out customer message. So you just have to find a software that does that. But I believe both of those two would work for your use case. Let's see. If you have a question, guys, throw it in the chat. We don't have a lot of questions. So, we run out of questions and we might have a short live today. What is the best bid strategy when you launch a product up and down or fixed? I typically am always going to do down only. I'm a big down only guy. Up and down is okay if you don't understand how to do bid adjustments. So if you don't know how to do bid adjustments, you don't know what to actually focus on from a bid adjustment standpoint. I'm usually going to say that is okay to do, but you likely will end up overspending on your bids more than you want to. So I always focus on down only first and foremost because it is the max that you will ever spend. So fixed, never do, because there is no reason why you should ever have just one set bid. But if you do down only, you know exactly what the highest amount you're going to bid on that keyword or search term is, versus it will also lower itself down, but you're never going to spend above that amount unless obviously you have like a bid adjustment of some kind, right? So I'm a big down only guy. Fixed, I hate it. There's no point in doing it. Up and down only if you really don't know how to do proper bid adjustments. Let's see. What's your perspective on Amazon suggested keyword campaigns? I saw strong results during the first month, but performance dropped afterwards and orders stopped coming. Stopped coming in. Could this be due to competition or overlap with my auto campaign, which is currently performing well? Or are there other factors I should be reviewing? So Amazon first thing you need to understand is that anytime Amazon suggests anything to you is not in your best interest, is always going to be in Amazon's best interest. So if you're doing auto campaigns or you're doing any form of like Amazon suggested keywords, I would just learn how to do keyword research for your PPC, right? We have a million videos on our YouTube channel. Head on over and like check them out. But the bigger thing here as well, when we're looking at this, when you're saying it's like overlapping with your auto campaign, yes, that could be the case, but you should also be taking keywords out of your auto campaign and putting them into their own manual campaigns. So you should not be keeping keywords just in your auto campaign all the time. Auto campaigns are best for keyword research, not actual growth on the platform. When it comes to the suggested keyword campaigns they're talking about, I really would just do your own keyword research. Amazon suggestions are not great, to be entirely frank, and they just kind of make suggestions based on your category, not actually based on what's going to be best use case for you. And so when you're seeing that like performance dropped, that could be a bid issue. It could be a CTR issue. If you're not seeing any form of impressions anymore, it's more than likely a bid problem or just relevancy in general, as we were talking about earlier. So try and, I would say, utilize something like Data Dive or Helium 10 to find some new keywords. You can even use Search Query Performance Report, but doing your own keyword research and some gold panning is probably going to work a lot better for you as a long-term strategy. What software lets me download customer reviews from the product detail page? There's no official software that's going to let you do that, Jeff, because Amazon technically has rules against doing any form of web scraping on their platform. So there's no official software, but a couple of different solutions you could look at. Something I actually saw somebody do recently is they utilize ChatGPT's new agent to try and scrape it. Now, the problem is that a lot of times Amazon's going to just immediately kibosh that because they don't allow AI on the platform. So that makes it kind of difficult there. The second thing is you can always try and just go through and just copy them all and then load them up into something like an AI and whatnot. But if you have thousands of reviews, that's probably not going to work out too well. There are a couple of softwares, none that I necessarily would recommend, but if it's something you are really looking into, I mean, I would just honestly look at like the top ones from a search perspective, but I don't have a personal recommendation on this. I need to analyze customer reviews for customer intent, likes, dislikes. Amazon's own AI technically does that right now, right? So you can ask its AI questions and based on the reviews, Jeff. So if you go and do Rufus, and this is probably one of the single use cases to where Rufus is actually good, is just giving you information about your reviews and about products when it comes to what people have said. You can just ask direct and it will give you a lot of that information. Let's see. What's the best way to leverage repeat purchase behavior? Subscribe and save when building an audience for high ticket non-consumable items. Ooh, okay. So here's what I will tell you, and you're not going to like my answer, unfortunately, and that is that you won't. If you have a product that's not consumable and it is high ticket as well, and you just aren't going to have a lot of repeat purchase in general, just because of those two factors alone, you're not going to be able to do anything to increase subscribe and save. You're not going to be able to do anything to try and intensify that. You need to focus primarily on just market share and new to brand customer segmentation. Those are going to be your two biggest levers always, right? I mean, we have several clients internally. I mean, there's one that I know of right now that has a product. It's $175 as like an average order value, right? And it has zero repeat purchasability. Like you buy this product and it has a lifetime guarantee, right? So you're not going to have any repurchase there. And the reality is all of your advertising and all of your focus should be on new to brand and awareness campaigns. Those are what you should really focus on, because you're not going to increase repeat purchase behavior. You're not going to get people to be like, oh, I have an iPhone, but I really would love a second iPhone, right? It's just people don't buy like that, unfortunately. So if your problem is trying to get repeat purchase, I would just take that effort and focus entirely on trying to build more awareness of the overall brand so that you can just get more new to brand customers. Let's see here. Jeff didn't ask for an autoresponder software. He asked how he can download reviews from PDP. I didn't talk about it. Oh, are you talking about his question earlier? So you may not have been here. He asked this question earlier. So I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, I answered both questions. Thanks though for trying to correct me, I suppose. We noticed an ASIN in search terms that we advertise. It gets orders, but often we spend a lot on same ASIN. When we negate it, it still spends. Why does this happen? And should we negate it or not? So a couple of different things can be happening here. Is number one, are you negating it on the correct campaign? So is your negation for that specific ASIN on all your campaigns? Is it one specific campaign? Is it happening just for there? It gets orders, but often we spend a lot on the same ASIN. Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me a little bit here like you essentially just have one specific product that's like maybe a lower priced overall competitor or something like that that's coming through and it's being sent onto your ad campaigns as a search term. You can negate that. You can negate it from an exact standpoint and negate that specific product, but it needs to be showing up on each one of your different products. So you can't just negate it and say, that's it, on one campaign. If it's causing this much confusion on multiple campaigns, what it sounds like, and with multiple products as well. But yeah, I would just negate it on each of your campaigns. We always build out for all of our clients a master negation list. So you have individual campaign negation lists, but then also a master one of just things over time just don't work for your product. You're not ever going to convert on them. Usually things like that where it's a product that's a lower price overall that you just can't compete with. And so I would just add it to a master negation. I would also make sure you're doing it from a campaign level and not just an ad group level. Let's see, I tried getting multiple variants, 1-pack, 2-pack, 4-pack, shown in a product ad in top of page by doing separate campaigns. It still seems to only show only one each time. Could that be dependent on category? Yes and no. So you can technically get multiple products from to show. But the thing that you're probably actually having a problem with here is not the fact that each of those individual ads is not working. The problem is more often than not that the way Amazon currently does parentages and the way that they show parentages in a lot of categories, they will always pick one that usually has the highest click-through rate of those child variations because you can advertise the individual variation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the variation that will show up if it's within a current parentage. And so the parent is always going to have one that's kind of like the hero that shows that has highest click-through rate. Doesn't necessarily have to have the highest conversion, but that's the one that will always show up for it. And so your ad in each one of these different campaigns sounds like it probably is performing. And you can tell that from the aspect that more than likely you have impressions in each one of those campaigns and clicks in each one of those campaigns, right? So it could be a specific to you. One easy way as well to check this is to do a incognito mode for whatever those search terms are that are the exact same to see if it still shows up with that one specific product. And that will give you kind of your answer as to whether it's a specific issue with the category or if it's just your parentage that shows up versus individual ASINs. 1 of 2. I think... I didn't see a second. Oh, I see a second one now. Okay. If I'm not registered in brand registry and have a brand exemption for one of my SKUs, which I have a UPC for, it registered under my brand name. If I had a UPC exemption for another SKU by sending the carton image of the product with my logo on it, can I send the product to FBA centers in different packaging design that doesn't have my logo on it? Technically, yeah. I mean, as long as as long as you have the exemption and you have all of the products labeled in a specific way. Now, big caveat here. There are circumstances where Amazon will see the images that you have. So they'll see like the image of your product on your listing. Then they will review the product that they have in stock. And if those two things don't match, they will essentially suspend your ASIN and say, hey, these don't match. These aren't the same product, which that's a problem in of itself. But if your packaging design is generally similar to itself, right? The only differentiator here being as you say, a logo or anything like that, yeah, you should be fine. At the end of the day, that's not going to be a huge issue, but you should be focused, I guess, the biggest part here on making sure it's as similar as possible. Does the bid strategy affect your ranking? Like strategy, you get clicks and impressions than down only. I use up and down strategy in all campaigns and optimize the PPC weekly. Yeah, like I said, I don't like up and down. The reason I don't like up and down, again, is because you have less control over what the bid is. And more often than not, your actual general bid is going to tend to be on the lower side because you are expecting to have an increase in that bid, right? Which is fine, right? But it also hinders you in doing things such as audience bid adjustments. It hinders you in doing top of search or rest of search bid adjustments, right? So that's one of the major reasons I'm a down only guy more than up and down, just because down only, you should always have like a max control on how much you're spending on your advertising on a cost per click perspective, right? Whereas up and down, you add a lot of different variables into how high that cost per click could, in theory, get. Now, are you going to go to that max amount of cost per click where it's 100% from what your bid is, then another 100% with top of search? No, not necessarily. But it's one of those things where you have less control, and you could. And the one day or one weekend you decide to, take a day off and not be looking at your PPC, you'll end up spending, a couple $100s you didn't want to spend for nothing at all. So I just like the idea of more control when I'm doing it from a, manual perspective as well. And, I check every other day when it comes to ads. That's usually what I'm going to suggest, is just that down only. Up and down, just, it's not as controlled, but it will give you more visibility and more clicks from the variability that can happen on advertising. Let's see. Jeff, what do you think about the new Amazon brand store quality ratings? How do you use the information to improve your brand store? Ooh, I like this one. I think I just posted a video on this, Jeff. I don't know if you watched my video. I think I did, at least. Did I? I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So I posted a video 2 weeks ago on this, actually. I have voice crack there. I'm a grown man. I just have voice crack. Anyways, my general thoughts on the brand store quality rating. I mean, you can go watch that video. It's 8 minutes long. And so not a very long read at all. So I will give my general sentiment. I think it's good. I think it's also kind of a bit of a wash in the sense. So I actually gave examples of 2 different stores within that. One store is a client that we have that is not top of its category at all. Has every single optimization on its brand store, gets okay traffic, but it's maybe 1% of the total sales of the entire brand every single month. Has a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. Then the other one that I show, Amazon said that it has a bad brand store. Meanwhile, it gets, comparatively to the competitor stats that Amazon was showing, gets 10x the traffic, 10x the sales every single month compared to its competitors, right? And so I think the idea behind like quality and making things look good and like what Amazon wants is there. Do I think that that works in practice for every single brand all the time? No, of course not. It's just not going to, because it can't. So big thing to focus on with it is, yeah, take the recommendations, do them. You want your store to look pretty. Know that no matter what, only maybe about, on a very, very top end, 10% of your total sales volume will come from your brand store. And that's if you're pushing a lot of sponsored brand campaigns. More than likely, between 3 and 5% of your total sales volume will be on your brand store. The secondary aspect of this is that what I really think is Amazon is more than likely going to be pushing for more, like synchronicity between brand stores, because that's the one area in Amazon right now that has such a different feel than the rest of Amazon, right? You can go from one brand store to another and they will look and feel completely different from each other. Whereas Amazon has always focused on like the product, or on the search, the SERP, of being specifically, everyone has to have a product on a white background, and then people add main image hacks, things like that. Amazon's kind of okay with it, right? because it still feels and looks like Amazon. Whereas if you click on one brand store and then you click on another, they're just wildly different at the end of the day. And so it's a big thing that I think is tough to chew, but I get why Amazon's doing it. I just think that a lot of times you can have a really low rating on your brand store and still be, again, top of your category. So let's see. How do you optimize a listing for mobile first impressions when 60% of the traffic never sees the bullet points? Yeah. So the easiest answer here is the same answer I would give regardless of the session, right? And that would be pictures are for people, text is for, or I guess reading is for robots is the new thing, right? People don't read. People aren't going to read bullet points, but they do look at the pictures. And so how do you optimize for that? Well, if you have 60% of your traffic, you don't want to optimize in a way that makes, I guess, disenfranchises desktop users. So you have to think of how you design all of your mobile design elements around that. Now, a couple of different things. One of the biggest things that I always will hit on when doing an ASIN review is that if I'm looking at your ASIN on my phone and I cannot easily read the tiny text because you have a wall of text this big on your image and the font size is at 5 on the image, I'm just immediately turned off by your design, right? And the reason behind that is that we usually make all these designs on our desktop computers. And a lot of people have large monitors. Myself, I have like 24, 28 inch monitors, right? And so I can look at something here, I can zoom in on it, I'm always going to be able to read it. But if I take that exact same image and I put it down into, this size here where it's like you can't see it, yeah, it's going to be hard to read. So that's always the biggest thing when you're optimizing for mobile is more than anything, make it readable and make sure the actual text size makes sense for the viewers you're getting. But at 60%, it's kind of tough to fully go into that route, but that same principle still applies on desktop as well. I have a bunch of comments from IG, but okay, this is how I'm supposed to read it. I think my team knows that there was an order mix-up issue. Right now, I appear multiple times on page 1 because I have 2 separate parent listings. If I merge them into one parent with color variations, will Amazon limit to one sponsored product plus one organic result per keyword? And can running additional PPC on child ASIN increase exposure, or does it only influence which variation is shown? Yeah, so this is very similar to earlier comment that was being talked about. Who was that? That was I think P. Wellstone, I think, is that person. But anyway, so to answer the question here, essentially, yes, you're typically going to be limited for most categories to basically having one sponsored result plus one organic result if you have a parentage setup. Now, if you don't have parentage setup, you can have all of the sponsored results and you could have the entire row of organic results, right? Because each of those are individual products and everything. But the way Amazon is doing it currently is that you typically are going to only show one of your child at any given time within the sponsored, and then you're only going to show one child within the organic as well, or just the parentage as a whole, I should say. Now, they are testing in some categories, specifically more consumables, things like body soaps, things like food, where Amazon essentially is allowing on the SERP showing multiple different children. This is also, in my opinion, why it is they're getting rid of reviews for specific variation types, such as flavor, because they want to show, like food products, multiple variations in the SERP, but you have each one of those variations have its own set of reviews. So that's something that is coming, but if that's not affecting you, then yeah, you're going to be limited basically to that one spot and then one spot. My guess is, as well with this change to SERP, is that they will also let the child variation start showing up multiple times as well. Okay. If you do A/B testing on the main image, how do you determine the CTR change from PPC? Because if so, that greatly influences the placement top of search for determining good. Okay. I see here. Good overall CTR for the product. Yep. So a couple of different things here. No. So when you're doing your managed ASINs, actually, I think I answered this question for like John Aspinall or someone recently, but regardless, basically the way that it works with your manager experiments or any A/B testing, right? First and foremost, look at your search query performance report, get an understanding of what your CTR is there. Now, the big thing to understand is you're not really looking or gauging what your historical CTR is, because when you do manage your experiments, you are A/B testing your original one versus the new one, right? And so if your original one in general has a lower CTR on the manager experiments, that makes sense. Nothing has changed with your original, so your CTR is going to make sense there. Now, there are two different sections when it comes to the actual sales perspective there. And when you're doing main image, I wouldn't really worry about conversions and sales as much as I would worry about obviously just the click-through rate. But manager experiments is going to take basically all forms of traffic at the end of the day. How does PPC play into that? Well, it doesn't really, right? Because the reality is, at the end of the day, is that you shouldn't be changing anything with your main image to the point where like it has a glowing effect on one PPC campaign versus another, right? The only differentiator here is if like you have a product that is like multi-versatile and you add, you take away like a high relevancy keyword and replace it with a different high relevancy keyword. But all you're doing in that scenario is basically just taking one campaign and making it less effective and taking the other campaign and making it more, right? So I usually encourage less playing around. The actual conversion side of things usually will take the organic more than anything into effect when it comes to manager experiments, though. My biggest thing, don't get too granular with manage your experiments. Just take it from face value and face level. If you're really that worried about it, go and use a service like Product Opinion instead. You can get instant feedback on it. You can also compare yourself to competitors. You can get people to see that your product is, this, where your competitors is this, get them ranked, everything. So Product Opinion, if you just want to get like the data and understanding without any variables. But manage your experiments is a fairly good platform. It just takes longer. Hello, sir. Hey, Noah. Do you recommend always having an A/B test running for product title? No, not always. I always want some form of A/B test running at all times. It's a thing that when I was actually on our operations side, you can ask any of my any of the former brand managers that I was managing when I was a director. I always was pushing, have an A/B test running at all times. Have an A/B test running at all times. Doesn't have to be product title, doesn't have to be main image, but have one singular A/B test of something running at all times. Why? Right? And the answer is that you can always be making small incremental improvements at the end of the day, right? And so it is a thing where I am always going to encourage small incremental improvements. An A/B test is the easiest way to do that. And so, yeah, you don't have to always be running one for product title, but I will encourage always running at least one form of A/B test at all times. Have you tried early Vine program recently for new product launch? What do you think about that? What is your product launch strategy as MAG in general in 2026? In addition to this, how do you structure your PPC during the initial launch phase? Yeah, so let's talk about Vine. What is my general opinion on Vine? I am not as much of a Vine hater as I historically have been. I will say that. You know what? I'll put it out there, everyone. You can clip me on that. Not as much of a Vine hater as I have been historically, because historically, I would say, is Vine even worth it? And the answer is no, in my opinion, right? From a strictly data standpoint, the difference in conversion numbers between 3 reviews and 30 reviews is negligible, right? The actual, from a strictly just looking at the number of reviews only, when we're looking at conversion, if a product has a 4.5 rating at 3 reviews and a 4.5 rating at 30, conversion is negligible. There is next to no difference in conversion numbers. Now, review rating is what matters much more, because you can have 4.5 reviews at 3 or 4.5 stars at 3 rating or 3 reviews. I'm mixing all these words up, right? And that's really good. You're at 4.5. Fantastic. But if you get 30 reviews and you're at 4.1, that is a lot worse, right? That's worse than just being at 3 reviews with 4.5, 4.7. So I'm a big proponent of the idea, just get natural organic reviews. Until you pass about 100 plus reviews from total count, the number of reviews is fairly negligible. It just matters much more on what the actual rating of the stars is. And historically, on average, from a data perspective, Vine has an average of 4 to 4.2 star reviews, whereas organic has an average of 4.5 to 4.7. So strictly from that standpoint, if we're talking just what matters most for conversion, I'm always just going to stick with the thing. Now, if somebody wants to do Vine, they're really gung-ho on it, of course I'm going to say do it, right? But with a big grain of salt in there as to what it's worth. It's pretty cheap at the end of the day, but especially if you're like a lower cost product, I am more apt to saying, yeah, do it, because pricing isn't going to be a big objection for you. But if you're like a higher price product above like $50 per unit or anything like that, I'm not going to usually suggest it, because we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to get reviews that may end up just tanking your listing and you need to restart it anyways. So then second part, how do you structure your PPC during the initial launch phase? We have a million guides on this. I actually just released a video on this, funny enough, talking about how to do this. Everyone always asks questions about things that I literally just made videos on. You guys need to be watching all of our videos on the, you're here on the live, spend 10 minutes, 30 minutes a week or whatever, watching a lot of our content, and it'll answer so many of these questions for you. Not that I don't love having you all here and answer or asking questions, but either way. So initial launch phase, right? So a couple of things, always set up an auto campaign. It's easy, it's incremental. It gets you an understanding of what's going to work, what's not going to work, as long as you know how to negate. Secondarily, make sure you have at least 2 to 3 different campaigns for new keywords that you're going to be doing. Usually I'm going to have a mix of a broad in there as my primary, alongside maybe an exact if I know like what top high relevancy for that keyword is already going to be. Or if I'm trying to get like incremental targeting. I usually at launch time, I'm not going to worry too much about bid adjustments. If I do worry about them, if I'm in a more competitive niche of some kind, I probably will do some top of search bid adjustments just to like get incremental in there and try and get just some fast sales and clicks onto the product. As far as doing product and competitor targeting, not usually for most of them. There is some instances, right? If like, again, it's a very competitive niche and I'm just, I have a lower priced product than like what the top competitors are within the category, then yeah, I will target those. And then anything branded search, I'm not going to worry about at the first launch phase, because all I'm caring about is awareness and incremental sales growth towards like high relevancy, high frequency keywords, usually somewhere in the mix between like 1,000 to 5,000 search volume. And then iterate off of that. How can we use PPC data and do changing in our listing to get more sales? I don't think I understand I don't think I understand the question. I think you're asking, how do you use PPC data alongside like changing SEO in your listings? Yeah, I mean, if you're adding new keywords into your listing and they're high relevancy, high frequency keywords within your SEO, I would create PPC campaigns alongside them to try and boost those keywords, because you want to get sales directly attributed to that keyword as quickly as possible to increase your overall indexing and ranking on that keyword. Thank you for answering, Noah. What's the correct way to structure auto-only PPC strategies for long-tail keyword mining without skewing ACoS data? Ooh, I love this one. So this is kind of like gold panning, but not exactly gold panning. So one of my favorite like PPC strategies of all time, and it's just the simplest, dumbest PPC strategy that literally anyone can do. I've made probably 2 or 3 videos on this, but it's what's called an auto catch-all. Okay. And what it is the easiest thing any person can do and set up in under like 10 minutes. You take all your products, you load them in, you set up the auto campaign, you put every match type, close, loose, you put them all. You want close to be, let's say, whatever the suggested bid is for the auto campaign, you start at 25% of that. For the rest of them, except for compliments, you will start at 10%. For compliments, you'll start at 15 to 20% of whatever the suggested bid is. Okay. You're not going to add any bid adjustments whatsoever. You are then going to launch that campaign. You are going to see immediately, do I have any hits whatsoever? Am I getting clicks anywhere? The point of this kind of auto campaign is basically just mining for long tail keywords that essentially are going to be able to be added into their own campaigns at a super low bid and get you incremental sales volume. It is by far like the dumbest, easiest campaign you can imagine, but it for some odd reason works. And it's because of the fact that you can, no matter what the bid is, still in some capacity show up for the keyword, right? Unless you're, obviously bidding at like 1 cent. Now, if you're not getting any traction whatsoever, just means that you need to raise each one of those bids up slightly. But on average, you'll be paying like 10 to 15 cents per click, which is, it's worth it at the end of the day, right? Because if you get one conversion off of, 10 clicks or 20 clicks, you usually are going to make your money back. And so it's, like I said, super easy to set up, takes 10 minutes, not even that. I have like 20 different videos. If you just type in auto catch-all, you'll probably find it, but it's just the easiest thing in the world. And every single person should have it on their accounts. I've been doing this for, I don't even know how long. Oh, I know. Are you a cereal first or milk first person? Why am I getting these food questions every week? Last week, I think it was like, what kind of pizza do I like? Thin crust, by the way. Am I a cereal first or milk first? Obviously, I'm a cereal first. What kind of maniac puts their milk? You don't even know how much milk to put in until you have your cereal in there, right? Like, here's a better question for you. Is cereal soup? There you go. Think about that for a while. So if I merge my two listings into one parent-child, then the variation doesn't show. Can I separate them into two different listings again? Yeah, you can have two separate listings, advertise both those listings individually of each other, and you can show up for sponsored ads for both those listings. I mean, great example of this. I mean, I could probably just find one right now if I go to Amazon and I can show you. So let's see here. Oh, this is a new thing. Actually, who wants to be, no, I'm gonna wait here. But here's a great example. Let me show this. I gotta make a video on this thing that I just found afterwards. So be on the lookout for this because this is a huge change. Where is it? Here we go. So I just typed in Ducky, and you'll notice that they have Ducky right here. So there's this one sponsored, same seller, just different products, different parentage. There you go. So you can show up multiple times for the same keyword as long as they are not child variations. This is crazy though. Interesting. I just found a really crazy thing. I keep saying that. I wish I could show you guys, but I need to hold it tight to the chest for now. One of my competitors has half the reviews than me. I'm dyslexic today. And I was ranking at the top in December on main keywords, but in January, my competitor gets first ranking on that keyword, and I didn't do anything with PPC. So reviews has nothing to do with rank at all. In fact, it has zero to do with rank. Reviews is nothing more than indication of like total sales over time that you've been selling. So somebody can be brand new and still rank one within like 2-3 weeks if they just get the sales volume, which it happens, right? Main keyword, but in January, competitor got first. It sounds like your sales dropped, but theirs didn't. So they're probably doing something still to filter sales more than anything, because that's all it is. They're filtering sales direct to that keyword in some way that's just better in capacity than you. So they now are rank 1. But reviews have no bearing on that at all. We launch a new product and create optimized bullet points, title, A+, images, brand story. Also create all the campaigns like SP, EP. Okay, yeah, SP, EP. I don't know what the EP part of this is. Sponsored product in turn. I don't know what the E part is. I'm trying to think, but sponsored brand, sponsored display, sponsored brand video, and auto, but still no sales. Also, there are too many impressions, or there are many low impressions. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. I have a video. I keep going back to this. I have a video on impressions and what to do if you have low impressions. One, it doesn't matter how many campaigns you have. Doesn't matter how optimized your bullet points are, your title, your A+, everything. If you're not getting impressions, that is a direct correlation to you just not having a high enough bid or not having any relevancy for the terms that you are going after. That's number one, right? Number two, you're not seeing any sales. Again, relevancy, right? So advertising is all about the relevancy of your product when it comes to the algorithm, for one. And two, are you getting the actual total amount of traffic necessary, right? Average click-through rate for ads in general, I would consider a good click-through rate to be 0.75 to 1%, right? That's like a good click-through rate. Average conversion rate, 10 to 15%. That's a good average conversion rate. So if you are not hitting either of those metrics, right? If you are under those metrics, you likely don't have enough traffic. That is just, you either don't have enough traffic or you're not bidding correctly. Those are the two things. If you are over those metrics, I would also say that a lot of times you're not being aggressive enough in how you bid. So take all of that with a grain of salt, I will say. But the big thing here when it comes to low impressions, there's tons of different reasons. 90% of them come back to you're not optimizing your bids correctly to be able to actually show up. I separate many of my campaigns based on bid adjustment. Nice example, bid bid 10 cents with 400% bid adjustment and a 50-cent bid. Okay. Or for a 50-cent bid. Cool. But I feel like Amazon would prefer me to just do base 50-cent bid without much bid adjustment. No, that's not at all true. So the only reason it feels like that, right, is because you probably have lower impressions overall. The reason you have lower impressions overall is because you're doing your bid adjustment towards one specific area of the bid. So anytime you ever think of the ads and the suggested bid, let's say, so if Amazon suggests a bid of 50 cents, they are taking basically the average of top of search, the average of rest of search, and the average of product pages, and then saying, here is your suggested bid for all of these different placements that you can have for this search term. Now, the thing is, it could be that top of search needs to be at 75 cents, but rest of search and product pages needs to be at 35 cents, right? Meaning that you basically are the same distance apart. That's where you get the 50 cents at the end of the day. And so it's a big thing when you're looking at advertising that do bid adjustments based on which type of placement you're trying to hit, and your bid should only be for that placement, right? So if you don't want to show up on rest of search, cool. Be super far low, be at 10 cents. But if you think top of search bid placement is actually at 60 cents, adjust for that placement only. This is the simplest way at the end of the day to make sure that your ad is showing up in Amazon where you want it to show up. Let's see here. Guide me about CPSC testing reports. You guys throw these acronyms at me like I just am an encyclopedia of acronyms. I don't know. What is CPCS? Let's take a gander together here, everyone. Certified Provider Credentialing Specialist. That's definitely not it. The only thing I can think by chance is like you actually mean CPC, like the Child Protective Certification or whatever. But why would you throw the S? Wait, no, it's CPSC. Okay, hold on. I gotta figure this out. Unless somebody can figure it out before me and tell me. Consumer Product Safety Commission testing reports. I don't know about this. I gotta be entirely frank with you. Is this something Amazon's requiring of your product? I haven't seen. Your product text. Yeah, so it's the children product thing, right? Right? Yeah. So Jeff says child. Okay, so it is the child thing. So why would you say CPSC? Because it's not CPSC normally. It's CPC. Either way. So let's talk about it. So is your product? Let's go back to the thing. Guide me. You're asking. Okay, so two different guides I can tell you here. Number one, if your product is for children and it's just child, it's a child product in some way, shape, or form, it does not matter what that product is. It can be something as simple as a Rubik's Cube. If you say that your product is for children, you need to get your CPC certifications. Now, big part about this is that I would not just go to any random laboratory. I would go to only ones that Amazon has accredited and partnered with. How can you do that? Go to manage your compliance. You should have a notification if you need this certification. Under manage your compliance, you then can click it and you can look at managed partners. These partners are direct facilities that Amazon partners with. They will do the actual certification testing for you and then send that report direct to Amazon. It will show up in your manage your compliance dashboard. That being said, it's going to take a while. It's expensive. It's annoying. But if you don't have a product that is meant for children, it means that somewhere along the way, you likely either one, have search terms related to children, or two, entered the age range for your product to be available for children, which you would need to edit so that this is not an issue. But you likely, because you already got the certification thing or the testing report, you have to still do that regardless and have them come back and tell you, your product is not for children. Don't worry. And then you'll be fine. It's not a big deal at the end of the day, as long as your product, I mean, it takes a couple of weeks, but it's more an annoyance than anything. Oh, hi, just got our Amazon 1099 and we see sales 50K higher than seller board and not congruent with Amazon reports. How to reconcile Amazon reports or seller board to 1099. Okay, so the 1099. So you're saying, so first and foremost, I'm gonna lay this flat out here. I am not an accountant. I do not do taxes for people. I don't do my own taxes. I pay someone to do my taxes because I don't mess with these things. Now that I have officially said this, I also encourage anyone out there to get themselves an accountant to do their taxes for them. But that being said, a couple of different things. So what you're realistically going to need to do here, Eric, is go, and I guess I'll share my screen here so that we can be looking at this together. And I guess I can't even scroll down. Oh, there we go. My little face was in front of it. But right here, payments. This is what you need to go to. So obviously you got the reports from the tax document library. Fantastic. Great. That's not going to help you. What you need to go is to payments and your reports repository. What I would do is I would gather every single payment report over the last year. You're saying that Amazon reports, how to reconcile it, and that you've already pulled it. I would just make sure that every single payment report is documented at the end of the day, because that's what realistically you're going to need to be seeing. It is usually, in my opinion, what ends up happening here is that people are looking at their sales reports and they are forgetting the fact that there is rollover into the next year from things like December because of how Amazon disperses payments. So you can make a sale usually like as late as, early December, and you can make that sale and you won't get paid out for that sale until like late January, right? Because of how Amazon does their return policy during Q4. And so with that, that's usually where that discrepancy is. If you had a really, really big last year, I guess 2024, if you had a really, really big, January or December period or whatever, and you had all that, and likely you had a higher than normal payout in January that is not congruent with your actual sales reports. That's usually where I see the discrepancy. Oh, let's see. Hey, y'all, new subscriber here. Well, hey, thanks for subscribing. Could we one day get a video on how to use meta ads to get Amazon sales? Oh, you're a new subscriber and you're asking a perfect question because I just recorded a video earlier today on this. And I don't think you're somebody at all who, I'm also not, I will say, not a fan of the name there. That's kind of crazy. It's a crazy name. We're just going to take that away. Crazy name you have there. Very much suggest you change that. But regardless, I recorded a video earlier today on just meta ads. It's not specific for Amazon. You can use it for Amazon because meta ads you just target specific to, I guess, the actual Amazon listing. But it's a guide on meta ads regardless that should be able to help you quite a bit. Also, go change that name. That's crazy of you. I sell in the UK market. I've launched a new product, but sometimes I noticed Amazon keeps forgetting to take their fulfillment fees. This happened many times, not just on one order. I'm a little bit worried. Would Amazon ask me to pay all those fees one day? for fees they forgot to charge. Okay, so hold on. You're saying that sometimes forgetting to take their fulfillment fee. I sell in the UK. I've launched. Oh, you're a new seller. No, Amazon's probably not forgetting to whatever it is. So Amazon's probably not forgetting to take their fulfillment fee. So what it is, let me see if I can find it. So there's stuff called new seller incentives. Let's see here. Oh, let's see if we can find the new seller incentives for 2025/6. There we go. All right. So this is what I would look at. There's a bunch of benefits here. You can just type into the search on Amazon Seller Central for new seller incentives, and you can read all about this. This is something you should know. This is the old one. This is 2024. I think there's a new updated one somewhere. It says 2023 here, but regardless, there is going to be a new seller incentives for like 2025, 2026. But they always have certain benefits and everything like that. So you're more than likely, one of the benefits is just like reduced FBA fulfillment fees, which every so often they just won't charge you. It's not that they won't take, or they will take it off each individual one. But they do all sorts of stuff. Like for instance, you get like a bonus of like only like 5% off your total referral fees. You get like up to $50,000 credit for your first 12 months of sales for like branded sales. So it's a big thing. So is Amazon going to come back and be like, hey, we need those fees? No. And I can assure you, as somebody who has been in the Amazon ecosystem for over a decade, Amazon is not forgetting to charge you those fees. There is not a chance that Amazon is ever going to forget to charge you a fee. What they will do is they definitely will overcharge you on fees and then reimburse you later down the line, but they are not going to forget to charge you a fee. Whoa, Zach, I was just about to ask the same question. I sell on Amazon UK, noticed that some older products where Amazon is forgetting to charge the fulfillment fee. Even some fellow UK Amazon sellers having the same thing happen, where Amazon will just forget to charge the fulfillment fee. Guys, I'm now hearing this twice. I find it incredulous to believe that Amazon would ever forget to charge the fulfillment fee. But let's take this with a thought real quick and let me look at a UK account and we can decide the truth here on what could be happening. This is interesting, I will say, because this is something that I don't normally see or hear about. I find it incredulous, though, that Amazon would forget, quote unquote, to charge the fee. More than likely, there is an incentive program here that's going on of some kind as to why they're not charging the fee. But I really, really would doubt that they are just not charging it. So let's see here. What accounts do I have there in the UK? I don't know if I have any accounts right here in the UK. Maybe this one. Let me see. Give me one sec. No, not that one. I'll have to find an account for this. It's interesting now I'm hearing two different people talk about this. But what I will say again, like I said, is that very rare Amazon would just not charge you a fee. More than likely is an incentive program. Minecraft saying it is what actually convinces me maybe it's not the new seller incentive program. And then Zach says, no, Noah, I'm not a new seller. I know about the new incentive. I checked multiple orders and broke them down. They keep forgetting to take fulfillment fee. Seller incentive is the referral fee. And they will always take the referral fee. So it's specifically, they're not charging you guys for the fulfillment. So it's not that they're just forgetting fees in general. They're charging you the referral, but they're not charging you the fulfillment. That I haven't heard about. So now you guys have me intrigued. Let's see. I'm wondering, let's see if there is a current change to how they are doing it. Amazon UK. I'm not seeing anything. Can one of you guys send me, one of you, Zach, or Minecraft, can one of you guys send me a screenshot to podcast@myamazonguy.com? I want to look into this. It's not something I'm going to be able to solve probably right this second, but I'm not seeing it for one on the account that I'm in. As far as the UK goes, I'm seeing every single order is getting it taken. That being said, if you can send me a screenshot, I'd be happy to look into this, help solve it, try and see it. Now, to answer your question, Zach, is Amazon going to retroactively try and charge you? If they truly are forgetting it, which I, again, very heavy doubt it's being forgotten, especially if it's only on like specific orders, not every single order, it makes me believe more than likely that no would be the answer, right? They won't retroactively kind of ding you on something like this if it's their fault. It depends on how widespread it is, right? At the end of the day. Let's see. Where was I? Here, I think. In my niche, customer receiving damaged product is the #1 problem. I'm looking to solve this via packing my product in corrugated boxes. Corrugated boxes, but I'm not sure how much that will rise the cost. You can find all sorts of packaging. Amazon does their own product packaging as well for these type boxes that you can actually do as well. They have their own packaging manufacturing. It's not super expensive, to be honest. It just depends on what your quantity is, but it's not all that much more expensive than regular boxes most of the time. You skipped my question. LOL, no worries. Just want to join a community of like-minded people. I don't see a question from you, Claire. I apologize if that's the case. If you want to ask a question again, please feel free. But I don't see it on my end, unfortunately. I don't get the same like flow that you guys have, and sometimes it just for some reason doesn't come through. That being said, absolutely, the MAG community is always one that is very happy to invite and bring anyone. So feel free to follow us here on all of socials. LinkedIn's our most popular, especially for me. That's where I'm at most of the time. But welcome. Defo, a messed up name. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. It was kind of a crazy name, to say the least. How do you test different SB ad assets? Amazon always picks a favorite and goes with that. Adding new assets to group doesn't really work. Do you duplicate campaigns with different assets? Any tips? Yeah, this is a principle, Wellstone, that we call asset iteration within the advertising world. So asset iteration is a much less useful term when it comes to Amazon, unfortunately, just because Amazon is very search term and sponsored product oriented with its advertising, but it does have obviously video and sponsored brands. And so biggest thing, how do you test it? Kind of exactly what you're talking about. It's Amazon's always going to pick its favorite, and its favorite is going to be the one that performs the best. You can create multiple different campaigns to test different assets, but you can also just remove certain assets and then put in a new asset instead of having multiple that it tries to rotate throughout. So that's usually what we do. We usually stick to one asset per campaign at any given time and then just change up the asset that we're utilizing. Let's see. Oh, my team even asked to send the question. Yes, no problem. Okay, I am a new listener. Welcome again, Claire. I have listened to months of live calls. I am currently about to launch a new product and was wondering if you guys had a community to join, like Circle or Facebook group, just to bounce questions off community during my PPC journey. No, not really. What I would encourage you, Claire, would be a couple of different things. One, watch all of our content. We have so much content on this. Come to every single, we do 2 different live streams per week like this that you're currently watching. We do this one, which is a general Q&A every single Friday. And then we also do one every single Tuesday that is PPC specific. So not only myself, but a lot of times people in the comments will answer other questions for people. I always encourage that, encourage education. Again, you can follow us on any of our socials, and we are very active in response to anything. You can also just send questions to us all the time. We're always happy to answer anything and whatnot. So yeah, welcome again. I started a wholesale in the USA. What tip you want to give, and what's the roadmap you want to give in short? In which category is best for Amazon Wholesale USA? I'm not a big fan of the wholesale model at this point. I know multiple people that I've talked to in the last probably 12 months have told me that it is getting more competitive and much harder to be profitable with wholesale in general, and you need to do more advertising than you did historically. I don't have a great roadmap for you, honestly. If you're really looking at getting into it long term, find one specific niche, become an expert in that niche that no one else is really selling it. Try and get direct distributor partnerships. Don't just buy things that anyone can buy who has a credit card. Can you make a video on Darren FBA Elite? He's the biggest UK PPC expert and would love to hear you guys' opinions on his PPC advice. Is this because we posted that video of me reviewing Travis Marziani? Well, it wasn't even Travis, to be fair. It was the guy that makes all of his content. Yeah, I can add that. I can add that to the roster. I need to make a bunch of videos as well, get a backlog going for my team, because I'm going to be gone for like a week or so, which means actually no PPC live next Friday, or no live Q&A next Friday. I will not be here next Friday, unfortunately, but I will be here the Friday after that. So if you have any questions, you gotta let me know. Let's see. Hi, my question is, Amazon is becoming increasingly strict with compliance requirements, particularly in the toys category. From a long-term private label perspective, do you recommend entering the toys category, or is it better to avoid it due to the high risk and compliance costs? I don't like the toys category unless you are a large toy manufacturer. The primary reason I don't like it, and the reason it's so stringent, is because it is the worst category when it comes to child certifications. It is the worst category when it comes to people, resellers who are just price gouging things. It's the worst category for people who are just creating their own individual listings of branded products and whatnot. So that's why it's so regulated at the end of the day. And so I personally don't like the toy category all that much. We do have some clients who are in the toy category, and it's not that big of a hurdle. If you are your own manufacturer, you make a specific thing, you're branded, and you're trying to get into it, that's fine. Compliance is usually easy for most people then. We have a ton of other questions, guys, and I apologize. I got to bounce. I do see this one here. Oh, yes, I would love to see a video on Darren FBA Elite's PPC advice, as he's the biggest UK PPC expert, and he always only uses exact match and never anything else. That's crazy. Okay, that alone is okay. I'll get that recorded today, and we will post that sometime next week. That's crazy. Yeah, no, that's bad. And then what's his face with the crazy name? I'm not going to put your name up there again. Yeah, you should change that. Again, it's real bad. Anyways, I apologize, guys. I got to bounce. I have some other stuff I have to attend to. That being said, this was the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. We are here almost every Friday because I just won't be here next week, unfortunately. But if you do have questions at any point in time, feel free to reach out to us at myamazonguy.com. You can actually even book a call with one of my expert team members. If you have something that you're trying to solve on Amazon, they likely can help you walk through it. Or at the very least, we can probably help you. So go book a call with one of them if you really need some advanced expert insights and help. Outside of that, I will be here 2 weeks from now. But if anything in between, feel free to reach out to us on our website, on LinkedIn. We're also super active. I'm super active on LinkedIn, so go follow me on LinkedIn and as well. And yeah, hope everyone has a great weekend and great week ahead. Stay warm and stay safe out there.